Next, I get to welcome the founder and CEO of PledgeMusic. It's the Kickstarter for music. Gabe Dixon, who's out here in the crowd tonight, I know he's going to be playing at 3rd and Lindsley coming up soon. I'm a big fan of him. One of my favorite singers and piano players. I've had 2 successful campaigns with PledgeMusic. It's a very successful company, and I'd like you all to welcome Benji Rogers to Who Knew?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello. 1, 2. Microphone.
Right here. Are you sure you don't want this?
2, 2. Yeah. 2, 2. We can use this one. I don't mind. Thank you very much for having me, and that was incredible. Really appreciate it, and thanks for putting me on after someone so awesome. That's always puts the pressure on. I'm the CEO of this company, and it's a surreal thing. I always called myself a reluctant CEO because I really feel unqualified to do it. I spent most of my life as a musician. My mother, father, stepfather were all managers, and my entire life was basically in a recording studio, on stage somewhere, backstage. My father's scratchy country bands, and that was what life was looking like. And I made the catastrophic decision of deciding to join a band, go on tour, and make records. And I was advised against this by lots of smart people, but it burns inside you. You have to do it. And cut to about 7 years ago, I was living on an air mattress in my mom's spare room. My wife was supporting us through her receptionist job, and I was saying, what the fuck just happened to my life? I think you have to have a break to have a breakthrough, so I'm lying there, and I just suddenly saw in my head, artists, fans, charities. And I've had 1,000 ideas lying in bed, but this one was just like, hang on a minute, what if this could work? And it started to just kind of congeal, be created in my head. And I woke up and I started to build the prototype for what would become PledgeMusic. My mom's boyfriend came downstairs about 7, 8 in the morning and said, what are you working on? I said, it's called PledgeMusic. So all of a sudden, this idea is born. And the concept was that when an artist is making something, they are much more interesting than when they are selling something to a certain subset of their fan base, me being one of them. And the creation of music is inherently fascinating. And most humans in this world do not do what they love with their lives. It's a tragedy, but it's true. So when you watch an artist that you love really, truly go for it and make change and be bold and do incredible things, it inspires fans. And we know this because fans tell us this. So the concept for Pledge was that an artist would say to their fans, be a part of the making of my album. From day one, you get to watch it while it comes to be. And at the end, we'll give a part of the profits to a charity of the artist's choice. So artist wins, they get to make the album in their way. They can still sign a record deal, they can do whatever they want. Fan wins, they get to watch this experience roll out. And at the end of the day, someone shows up with a check. And it was, to me, an elegant solution. And I had no idea how I would do it. I did not know how to code. So I called up my buddy who built my website in 1999, and I said, hey, you build websites, right? He said, no, I am a developer. So I said, okay, so you build websites? No, I work with Ruby on Rails, building database architecture for the internet of the future. Okay. Can you put this idea onto a fucking website, please? Yes, if you raise a bunch of money and pay me. So I then got with my best friend in the world, a lawyer I met in a bar, and my other best friend in the world, and we created this crazy monster. We hit 1 million users about 3 months ago, and thank you very much. And the most incredible part to it is we had the #2 and the #3 albums in the UK from major label artists as well. So it's this really strange thing where this idea of the creation of music being more interesting than the selling of music is something that just resonates. And now I'm going to come to the part where the music industry comes into this. The music industry is extraordinarily unique, as we all probably know. And I love the music industry. It's the reason I'm here. But at the same time, it does things in a really strange way. I believe that as we move into the future, and it's coming really, really fast, obviously, that it will seem absurd to create something and then sell it. That's going to be a really strange concept. And you're seeing this with platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and others that do this. They go in, they have an idea, they see how many people want it, and then they create it to order. The Pebble Watch, as an example, was a Kickstarter project. It raised $10 million from a video with a description of what it would look like when it was made. No software, couldn't touch it, couldn't see it, couldn't hold it, like that. $10 million. Then they did a second campaign and raised $16 million. Again, you couldn't hold the watch. It was competing against Apple Watch. So $26 million from 100,000 people for something you couldn't hold, couldn't touch. Meanwhile, the music industry got together and said, let's release all albums on the exact same day at the same time so they're all competing with each other. And let's hide the process, the magic, the creation, all that beautiful stuff, and put it all out on compact discs, vinyl, and digital downloads. It's strange. The largest music streaming service on earth is YouTube. This is what people have chosen as their primary way of listening to music. Sounds odd, and there are other amazing platforms too. And I'm not anti-streaming. I believe in the future we will the dissemination of music will occur on streaming services. But what's phenomenal is when artists are creating, it's got the drama of a reality TV show, the theatrics of a reality TV show, and it makes something beautiful at the end, hopefully, which not many reality TV shows do, I suppose. It only happens once. So you get this remarkable thing where an artist says, be a part of the making of this, and you get to watch it. The average fan on our platform spends $55 per transaction. Yes, $55 per transaction. Do you know why? Because they can. Because they are physically able to. And I was in Nashville a few months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I was in a room full of artists, and I said, hands up here who's making an album right now? And everyone put their hand up. And I said, how many of you will allow me to buy it right now? All hands down. I said, is that my fault or yours? I saw a tweet from a band I love, Churches, and I was like, and the tweet just said, we're in the studio, we'd love for you to check it out. But I couldn't buy anything. I wanted to sign vinyl. I emailed Daniel Glass, and I was like, Daniel, I saw the tweet. It's just missing the button where I can, but the album's not done yet. I don't care. Send it to me when it's done. I want it now. I've chosen. I'm making a choice. I'm advocating. I'm a fan saying, let me spend money. No, we can't do that. So to Daniel's credit, we are working with him, so it's a different matter. But so there's a wonderful quote from Nick Bilton, who is the New York Times technology correspondent. And he wrote a book called I Live in the Future and Here's How It Works. And in it, he says, dear content creator, dear producer, dear musician, artist, filmmaker, they're not coming back. The consumer of yesterday is not going to return. No one is going to wake up tomorrow and wish that their telephone was twice the size and had to be plugged into a wall. No one is going to wish that their TV, instead of being this thin, was this wide, right? It just won't happen. So when you see your secretary, intern, daughter, friend, husband, whatever it is, interacting with this new technology in this new way, don't castigate them, watch them. They are showing you the future, and they're showing you how it works. Consumers are speaking. Seth Godin has a wonderful expression. He says, delight the weird, right? That's a wonderful expression. Music fans, super fans are weird. I'm one of them. I like test pressings. I don't care about MP3s. I will get that. That's fine. That's just the end result. I want more than that. And so that's really what we set out to do at Pledge as a company. But more in the space, I was told that we should make a bold prediction. So I'm going to do that. I believe that we're going to take this industry from a $16 billion a year industry to a $100 billion industry in the next 5 years. I believe that there is more demand for what musicians make than there has ever been in history, and that we are simply offering consumers something they do not want. They don't want to buy it all on a Friday. They want it when they get it. So, thank you. So if you just, well, I'll get there. So if you offer it to them, in the way that they want, you have the opportunity. And I guess the reason it really comes down to this one thing. People are unable to keep greatness to themselves. They want to share what they love. The tools now exist for them to do that. And if you as an artist or as a musician or a record label or manager decide that you're going to choose the path for your fans, you're going to fail as we go into the next few years. Because if you ask the fans what they want, they will tell you, they will show up, because you make great things. Thank you.
How about a couple quick questions for Benji? Anybody right here at the house mic? When I started thinking about who knew, that's exactly what I had in mind right there, folks. That was remarkable. Thank you, Benji. Any questions for Benji? Anybody want sunglasses over there? All right, go on. Here
Please.
comes.
Yeah,
And by the way, I really like you. I think you're really smart.
thank you.
However, what I just want you to come back around to where does the charity part of PledgeMusic come
Sure.
into fold?
In 2004, I went to the Middle East and I worked with refugees briefly, and I saw a side of the universe, humanity, that I never thought would exist. And I came home and I wrote some songs about it, and I felt this kind of conscious sort of, most artists I found had something passionate in their lives, a cause that they were passionate about. And what I realized is that if you're doing something for the reason of pleasing a fan, pleasing yourself, and a charity, that it kind of added this other element. It's optional, no one has to do it. It was a personal decision I made. I was the first campaign on the platform, and we found that if an artist has a charitable component, they actually end up getting more in pre-orders for their albums than they do without. So it was a good thing to do. It's not forced, but the way I figured it is better to have someone show up with a check for a charity than not. Yeah. Thank you.